guys, welcome back to the channel where we are checking out NFT Gaming, and today we are looking at Illuvium. So one of the biggest AAA game titles that is coming, Illuvium, of course. If you're brand new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscription button. We are going on 1,400 subscribers already, which is absolutely amazing. So today we're looking at the November 2021 dev blog. So the blog does really kind of give us a snapshot of where the project is headed, essentially going through a lot of the nuts and bolts of Illuvium. And a lot of players love the recaps. I do the recaps when it comes to conversations, major conversations that we have on Discord. I cover all the content, including the blogs and also the character leaks. A lot of players that are very interested in this game, both the investor side and the player side, do not have the time that it takes to go through and have conversations with a lot of the different Illuvium staff when it comes to Discord and things of that nature. So I like to take it and kind of summarize everything that we have going on here, which is what we're going to look at right now. So this is the November 21 dev blog. A little bit of intro, they're working on a lot of different things. First part is the business and partnership. So Raise the Roof. They're looking to do some capital funding or bringing in some additional capital. Now, Kieran is a firm believer in the community and thinks that the community will be behind whatever project they come up with or how they're going to do this funding. Big thing with funding, guys, is there is going to be a requirement or a need for capital to get projects done faster. Hiring more people, keeping people on staff, things of that nature. There will be more funding that is going to be needed in the future. New council elections, if you guys seen today, it actually went out on Twitter. A couple other feeds, there are some new council elections that are going on right now. I got a lot of questions about running for council. I am not, guys. I have 2 young children. I work full time. I cover a couple different games. As much as I would be super interested in running for the council for Illuvium, it is not on my plate. I don't have the time and effort to dedicate to the game. So unfortunately, I will not be running for council. Not now, probably not ever, but ultimately we'll have to see where this game takes us. Now the guild words, I like this part. If you guys follow my AFK Arena channel, this is really where the game is functionality. I really believe bringing the players together in a guild and having them do things as a guild, whether it's, capturing things, whether it's blueprints, whether it's fights, whether it's competitions, whatever it may be, there is a super complex way that guilds can work. And we've seen it in a lot of different titles where they have worked absolutely phenomenal and in perfect synergy, where players are actually incentivized or, there's a logic behind why players want to join guilds, which has to be there, guys. I've played a couple games where they're missing the guild aspect, and it really doesn't come out as well or as polished as it could be without that guild aspect. Now, marketing, this is really one big thing that I focus on. I do have a business background. Marketing will bring players to the game. There is going to be a lot of building assets to launch the land sale, private beta, Illuvatars. There's going to be a ton of marketing, and the team is working on this, guys. It's going to be interesting to see exactly where this goes, because I really feel like once the marketing gets out there and this goes mainstream, ILV and Illuvium overall will simply go parabolic. I'm really hoping a lot of this does come out after the land sale, because it does bring a lot of investors and a lot of players in for the land sale. I hope the initial one is just kept a little more low key with the players that are really dedicated to the game at this point. Direction, again, learned a lot from marketing and the trailer. I think it's going on almost 1 million views, which is crazy. So the game Overworld, this is where we kind of bridge the gap, and that's what we were talking about a little bit earlier today. Nearly done with the basic structure of Overworld functionality, and I'll have a video soon. Now, this is where you really have to bridge the gap, and that's where I was kind of trying to draw the conclusions last time when it came to bridging the gap between ILV 0, Illuvium 0, and Illuvium the main game, and how it is going to coexist within this ecosystem. Players need to understand the Overworld is not to be crazy action-packed adventure. It's a solo collection mission, where players can absorb part of the environmental story. There's no quests such as killing 5 rats, no puzzles like shrines in Zelda, mainly because that is how it is built. It's an overworld, is like a pack of cards. Instead of opening them, you travel them, you capture them, things of that nature. You won't have speed runners to be effective. Ultimately, it's going to be a combat game that we've seen. So card collection game with the NFTs. It's also going to be the auto battler, which is going to be the really cool big thing. Back-end integration, making sure everything is fair. Absolutely have to keep security up and make sure that it is working well. Timeless UI, there is a lot that is going behind the UI for this game. For the overworld, aren't fully staffed yet, so it is lagging a little bit behind. But again, raising more capital can complete things and get people into this project a little bit faster. Now the auto battler, so this is the actual combat itself, which is cool. It has been moved to the hex grid, guys. That is what they were really focusing on. It's really hard to take kind of the square grid, move it into the hex grid. Does take a considerable amount of time. Tech debt free. Optimize the code and segments. Again, this gets into a lot more of the technical side, which I'm going to put a link to it, to the guide to this dev notes right down below, so you can check it out and see exactly what it is. As you can see, catching out, new additions, expert coders pulled away from Sony. We've heard some of the sounds of the game and what it's going to have and what the visuals are going to look like. We've seen the trailer, guys. Cinematic battles. I love this. The cinematic part really paints the story and makes the game what it is. And obviously, you know, when you look at larger titles like World of Warcraft, it is the cinematic trailers. It is the cinematic battles. It is the part where you actually interact and you can see the story itself, which is awesome. Illuvium's most labor-intensive part of the game. Just like he says here, guys, a lot to bring these to life. Working tireless, effortless, or effort-filled hours to get them automatic. Making sure, check back in 5 years to see which stood the test of time. So I love that. Already looking 5 years into the future. Now, Eye of the Survivor. When we are still scrambling to finish survival mode, you will experience this first, so give it some love. We decided to create a new battle arena for it. We think you'll enjoy it. A small story element, which again, really, I feel drives the game. Overall, it's going to be tight for the beta in by the end of the year. Many things could go wrong, so definitely going to have a beta pretty soon, which is awesome. I know there are a crazy amount of players already signed up for this beta, which again, just really speaks volumes to the game. Now, this is what I am super excited about, guys. If you guys have seen some of my other videos, the Illuvium Zero game is what I want to really focus on. I love the open world RPG aspect. I like the auto battler catching the Illuvials, but Illuvium Zero, the base builder tactics of this seem like they are going to be absolutely amazing. They're hiring extra people to control the back end of the game, but overall it is coming. Main features of the game are done, with more features over time, which I love. So this is going to be a game, it's going to have patches, it's going to have evolutions, it's going to have things of that nature to keep players engaged, where if you're playing a game, you come back, you know, weeks or months later, a lot has changed, which is very cool. Game design overall, lately the game design team is focused on getting ready for the closed beta 2, which is awesome. Data of the synergy system. So we know the game design, you have the Illuvials, which have different synergies within them, and they have different tiers. There's going to be different functionality. And then also when you combine them together to create other Illuvials, remember guys, there's going to be 100 Illuvials on release. There are going to be more coming, which is awesome, but you have to make this synergy work with how they're going to, what stats they're going to have, what bonuses they're going to have. Everything of that nature really gets down to the mechanics behind the game. Visual effects do take a considerable amount of time, but there is the actual game and the layout, the design, the features, the skills, the abilities, everything like that still needs to be functionality, and then it has to be plotted, then it has to be programmed to work as intended, which is awesome. Added 2 more people to the team for the blockchain. We know it is going to V2, which is awesome. Staking in V2 has passed. Yes, with Quantum Stamp, the IIP will formally be submitted soon, and we expect it to pass. With the voting system, guys, They said they really want this V2 staking to pass. There's not any reason to tie it up. They don't want to go through a lot of revisions, which is the reason it's going to be coming out pretty soon. So we can go ahead and get that passed with no problem and move everything to V2 to save on fees. One of the big things with the developers and a lot of the players of Illuvio, anything that we're saving in fees is going to give us the ability to use more and utilize more funds within the game. So it is really a win-win scenario, moving everything to V2 and then also having us have a massive reduction in gas fees allows us, again, more money to put into the game itself, which is awesome. They're still working on the land sale in the Illuvidex. We've seen some snaps of the Illuvidex and exactly what it is going to be essentially working. This has been some of the delays with the land sale. One of the reasons they said December 15th, it would pretty much be done, but they don't want to latch or they don't want to release it when it comes to the holidays and when it comes to Christmas, things of that nature, because a lot of players and a lot of people will be doing other things. So they are definitely getting it done. Hopefully January 3rd is a date that we're still going to be kind of set on when it comes to launching out the Illuvium Zero piece. Now, gaming backend, auto battler simulation, executing flows, Overworld is there too, which is awesome. You can see this going through. If anyone knows a C hashtag backend engineer with QIs of 150 plus, let them know. They are super rare, guys. They are looking for this position to fill specifically. So if you do know anyone, again, with thousands or hundreds of thousands of people watching this, if you know someone that has those qualifications, definitely reach out to them. I will be looking as well, which would be very cool. So the infrastructure is growing. They had 2 more teams, security lead, extra DevOps engineers, which is awesome. Again, this game is coming together. A lot of people have really doubted Kiernan in the beginning, and it is coming together, guys, which is awesome to see. Data analytics, new vision by the game design team. I think you're going to find the text super cool. We extended the reward function to not only win losses, but also on remaining team members and health. Again, very cool when it comes to the rank mode. Have to have this nailed down perfectly, which it's exactly that, guys. The game has to work, and it has to work with the functionality. You cannot release a game that is half broken and kind of fix things on the fly. It's better to take a little bit of extra time, really polish the game, make it come together, make it work super well. Then when you put it out, players are into it and they really have the buy-in. Of course, there's going to be adjustments, there's going to be bugs, whatever there are going to be, but ultimately there is going to be a time when the game is here and everybody and everything that we have put into this will be well worth it. Production, again, that's where they need to get a little bit better. Humans are humans, guys. They get burnt out. They get, there's only so much you can do. There's only so many hours a day, really making the most of the hours that we have. And again, they could definitely get better. I'm not sure if it's hiring more people, but ultimately, guys, they're putting out a game and a massive game like this in a super quick turnaround time. Some of these games, as we've seen from Star Atlas, a couple other ones, are years, literally years and years in the making to get everything right. And some of them never come to fruition, which I do not feel is the case that we're going to have here with Illuvium. Now, the story has been super well hidden, I guess, which is interesting. I know Johnny had kind of touched on this over in the Discord, that anything related to the story is 100% hush hush. Do not share any leaks. Do not turn anything. We're working on a long form story that could be a movie or a series, which we do not know exactly what it's going to. This will not be what goes into the game, but provides the structure of the world. Again, when it comes to the cinematic trailers, when it comes to the backlying story of the reason why we are there and kind of what happened, that is what players really buy into, and that is what players love to get into. A lot of games don't really develop the story, which I feel like is a miss, just like the guilds, where if they don't develop the guilds, I feel like it is a really big miss for opportunities when it comes to gaming. Now, in the art, of course, modeling, texturing, and fur, very cool. Again, really focusing on building out these alluvials like we see them and how we imagine them. Animation, again, takes a lot more time. 10 Illuvios are complete with 15 work in progress. So we have 10, I believe, of the 100 that are already completely done. Challenge to the animators, a 6 attack sequence that's looked dope to replace the old system. Again, they do have a lot more work before this comes live, but they do have a significant amount of time. And this is really interesting. I was kind of reading through this earlier. We could have made things simple, scrapped the overworld entirely, and just had a game where you buy packs of cards. That's what we're not what we're looking for, guys. There's a lot of games like that. They keep it pretty basic, which I feel like this game does not, where a lot of them you have, you know, Axie Infinity, which has minimal movement. You have Splinterlands, which is literally just cards attacking cards. There's not the animation feature and there's not the special effects features. Things of that nature are really rare, and it's really what makes this game a AAA rated game. And then of course you have the visual effects and the sound effects, which are awesome as well. We've seen them coming through. We're also working on the environmental effects of Illuvium 0. Super loving that. And we've also heard some of the technical audio engineer, some of the sound effects that we're going to have within the game, which again is very cool. There's a lot more in here that you can go ahead and read through if you want to. Again, I will put a link down below, but definitely love seeing the, really keeping it transparent. And that's really what Aaron does. That's what Kieran does. Johnny does. Everybody on the staff keeps it really transparent with what is coming, where they're at, if they're not pulling their weight, if they're a little bit behind. Again, being super transparent with this. And I'm super excited to see what the marketing and also raising some capital. Solid way of really raising the capital that I like is when we do NFTs. They could do something with a couple of exclusive NFTs. They could do it with bidding some NFTs, even popping a couple of those NFTs in the Illuvidex, just really getting players a lot more embedded into the game. All right, guys, so that will do it for the November 21 dev blog. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. The link is down below, so check it out yourself if you have some questions. I'd love the feedback in YouTube and on Discord as well. And of course, as always, thank you guys for watching.